ਇਹ ਸਪਿਰਚੁਅਲ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ AMC ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਪਾਂਸਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ 6045076666 ਤੇ ਫੋਨ ਕਰੋ। ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸਪਿਰਚੁਅਲ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ। ਇੱਕ ਸੀਰੀਜ਼ ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਸਪਿਰਚੁਅਲਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਮੁੱਖ ਰੱਖ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਬਾਤਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਧਰਮ, ਸਿੱਖ ਧਰਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਪੈਰਾਮੀਟਰਸ ਕੀ ਹਨ, ਉਸ ਦੀ ਕੀ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਪਿਰਚੁਅਲਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਦਾ ਅੰਗ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਨਾਮਵਰ ਸਿੱਖ ਹਿਸਟੋਰੀਅਨ ਨੇ ਅਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਹੁਣ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਲਿਖਤਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਆਪਣਾ ਬਲੌਗ ਵੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ 'ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ spiritualblog.ca 'ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਪਿਰਚੁਅਲਿਟੀ ਹੈ ਕੀ ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ। ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਅੱਜ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਸਪਿਰਚੁਅਲ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਹੈਗਾ, ਪਰ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਵਾਟ ਡਜ਼ ਇਟ ਮੀਨ। ਆਓ ਇਸ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੇ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ ਤੋਂ।
जी वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह। You have raised a very important point actually, as many people, many often we hear that I don't believe in religion. Actually, as I mentioned, 1.1 billion people don't believe in religion, but they claim they believe in spirituality. But many of them do not understand or experience spirituality. Do they really understand and experience? If they do, then this world will look differently. Just saying that I believe in spirituality, it doesn't change anything. The ignorance of truth remains the way it is. As we discussed in our episodes, that spirituality is simply a way of life. Spirituality is instructions and how to find meaning and purpose of life and live life of peace, happiness, and free of worries and anxiety. That's what spirituality is.
Right.
And if you are living this life, you are spiritual.
Yeah.
If you are really living life happy, peace, stress, worry free, and joyful life, you are a pleasant person, you're spreading pleasantness around your surroundings, and then you are a spiritual person. That's the test. Then Harpiji, this is where we will discuss in this episode that how I know it spiritually, what it means, how I know it, how I experience spirituality, and how do I live spirituality. We will discuss in briefly. I don't claim to be really a spiritual person, but I share my whatever I have learned, and what a spiritual person is expected to live like. Spirituality means first, Harpiji, contentment, santokh in life. And Guru Nanak Pasha says, "Bina santokh nahi ko rajya." That means without living and learning contentment, and the race for more and more never ends. Never ends. And stress and tension and anxiety persist unless we become santokhi. And unless we learn contentment, the gap between what we have, what we desire is never filled. Our tensions and worries never go away. Spirituality means then I no longer find meaning and purpose of life in material wealth, in fame, and in status, in external situations, forms. I do not find my meaning of life in external things. And my peace, spirituality, that means my peace does not depend on how much money I have, how big house I have, what kind of car I am driving. These are very important statements.
Oh yes.
And if you say I'm spiritual, then you no longer find meaning of life in material things. You have no race to gain more. Doesn't mean we don't have ambitions, but we don't find meaning of life. We don't find inner peace in them, and I don't. My happiness, my peace is not dependent on
The external
these things.
circumstances.
Huge statement. It's the state of consciousness. That's
Yeah.
what spirituality means.
That's right.
That's what Guru teaches us. That's what we are going to talk about. The problem of the modern society, Harpreet, is this. Our young people, young adults, professionals in our community, I see them all around, they're searching peace and happiness, inner peace in material wealth, in outer things. And now we have comforts and conveniences our forefathers never dreamed of.
Oh, yes.
This generation is the most comfortable generation. We should be the most peaceful
Right.
generation,
But it is
but
not
we
so.
are more mentally sick and we
Yeah.
are more miserable. And for example, air condition can cool my body.
Yeah.
Air condition cannot give me inner peace, cannot create, remove my tensions, my
Yeah.
stress level. And this is what's happening. How then, if this is the situation, spirituality means that I do not find meaning of life and purpose of life in material thing and external things. My happiness does not depend on that. Then how do we become attached to that? Why we get trapped into that? How this happens is when I am identified with the forms, with the material things, with external things, that becomes who I am. Harpreet, when I say I own a business, I own a business, then I and the business become one.
Yeah.
I am completely identified with that.
Yeah.
So this is becomes my my destiny. So when over time I am completely identified with things, this has become who I am become. So any loss of that is a pain and stress to me.
Right.
So my happiness always depend on what I have, how much I have. I am not detached from that. My purpose of life is in those material things. So I am completely identified with them, completely happy with what I have. Spirituality means I am completely happy with what I have. And now it's easy said than done. I believe when you really follow the spiritual philosophy, bina santokh nahi ko raje, and it is not very difficult. It's a state of thinking, it's a state of mind. If you set yourself, I have ambitions, I run business, but I'm happy with 100% results, 150%, I am happy with what I have, and I have detached from, my happiness does not depend on what I have. Yes, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to make money, but I have set myself, my state of consciousness is transformed in a way that my happiness does not, no longer depend on that.
Right.
Does not, it doesn't mean like I imagine, it's a detachment, unidentified with this. How can we be happy when, this is the question, somebody will raise this question, how can someone be happy if they have no meals at night? They're hungry.
Yeah.
But spirituality, being spiritual, means gratitude. Being happy with what you have means sharing.
Right.
When you are spiritual, you are happy, your gratitude is share, and then there's no hungry. Being spiritual, there's no hungry in this world. Greedy people, there's not enough for greedy people.
Oh, yeah.
There's always enough for needy people.
Absolutely, there's enough for
It's
everyone's need,
it's
but
the
not
race.
everything for everyone's
How you
greed.
stop this race?
Yeah.
How you stop this race?
Right.
I just want to share one personal interesting story. Where I lived, there was a house across my street, and that was for sale. Somebody said, come to me and says, you can buy this if you want to buy this. And a friend of mine said, oh, buy that. We construct the houses, sell it, and make money. So make a couple $100,000. Now,
Right.
I'm thinking I'm 70-year-old. I have enough for my rest of my life, and more than enough rest of my life. And do I want to make more money at 70? And even if I make 200,000, then what?
What difference will it make?
Then what? Then what? Should I spend 6 months standing there, or I spend 6 months doing something productive? Rabb da naam lein. You know, should I run after the money, or should I run in a peace of mind? Koi Rabb da naam lena, ya koi changa kam karna. So this is the race. You have. This is called detachment. You know. Says no, I have nothing.
So basically, this only comes if you understand this concept. Otherwise, that race never finishes off. You know, you want more and more, but you forget at the cost of what? At the cost of your health. At the cost of your productivity. At the cost of your interests. Now you are a free bird. You can go and play golf. You can do studies and prepare the programs. Come over
this
here.
Is the time to Rabb da naam learn the time hega. Paise banaun the service. This is the race. How you get out of this race. Now, here is the important lesson, Harbiji. In the world today, the gap between rich and poor is widening.
Oh yes.
We know that. Everywhere it's widening, and governments have the policies to even widen that more. And for people who are greedy, there's not ever enough for them. And this is a danger to the world peace. What we're talking about, this philosophy, the spirituality, being Santoki, this is in fact a danger to the whole world. Because disparity is increasing. And spirituality means, so the lesson from what being spiritual, being Santoki, being contentment is sharing and being happy. So once you, as we discussed, this is a danger to the government. When the whole society thinks in that way, I'm happy with what I have, I'm gratitude what I have, I want to share that, there'll be no hungry, and the gap will be reduced, and then there'll be world peace. So it has a huge significance. Being spiritual has a huge significance in the world. But this is what we need. This is the spirituality. This is what should be taught in the places of worship. This is what should be taught in the Gurdwara. What is spirituality means. Now, spirituality means, another thing, is as we discussed in detail, Sukh Dukh Doedar Kapre Pare Jai Manuk. Spirituality means accepting the situations as they come. Because everything in this world happen according to a system. Chinta tanki kijiye jo anhoni hoye. So this is spirituality. When we accept and learn to live the way of surrender, Guru Pacha says, that's where you find peace and happiness in the lives. Harpiji, spirituality means मन तू ज्योत स्वरूप है
अपना मूल पहचान
सब मन तू ज्योत स्वरूप अपना सब में ज्योत है सोए कट कट में हर चू बस है This is spirituality. Means nature of every human being is a basic goodness. This is what spirituality, spark of enlightenment is within every human being. ਜਿਹਦੇ ਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਰੱਬ ਵਸਦਾ. This is what spirituality, this is who we are. Our true nature, na ko veri nahi bulana sagal sang humko banai. This is what spirituality means. If we want to call ourselves spiritual, this is what spirituality means. Spirituality means human race is a one big family. And what we see is what we see is a hatred, violence, intolerance, discrimination. And this is the acquired identity of humanity. This is not a spiritual, this is not our trueness. This is not our authentic self. This is the acquired nature of the humanity. This, if we want to become spiritual, and that can be changed. This is a falsehood. This is a this is what spiritual means. This is what spirituality means. And this is what, when we teach that to our young people, and calling yourself I'm spiritual, this is what spirituality means. If we are spiritual, this whole world will change. My life will change.
My life will change, my situations
And
will change, everything else will change. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for this perspective, because it is very important these days. A lot of talk goes on about spirituality, but what actually it is not just reading a few books or just trying to follow some different kind of thinking. It is basically imbibing those qualities and bringing it into your
I have
own
written
life.
this one article, Spirituality and Mental Health.
Okay.
I have really discussed what the spirituality means for a mental health.
We'll discuss it in our future programs. Thank
Yes.
you very much for your time.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ,
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਜੀ। ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਹਰਬੰਸ ਸਿੰਘ ਕੰਡੋਲਾ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਕੌਣ ਹੈ। ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਉਹੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੰਤੋਖੀ ਹੈ, ਕੰਟੈਂਟਮੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ। ਉਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਮਾਇਆ ਦੇ ਮਗਰ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਭੱਜਦਾ, ਉਹ ਐਨਾਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ। ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਿਚੁਏਸ਼ਨਸ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਈਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਜਾਂ ਉਹ ਅਫੈਕਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ, ਅੰਦਰ ਜੋ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਸਥਿਤੀ ਹੈ ਉਹੀ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਗਾਈਡ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੁੱਖ ਤੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਹੀ ਕੱਪੜੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਨੇ ਪਾਣੇ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਸੁੱਖ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਜਦੋਂ ਦੁੱਖ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਗਮੀ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਸਟੇਟ ਆਫ ਇਕੁਇਲਿਬਰੀਅਮ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਯਾਨੀ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸੰਤੋਖ ਭਾਵ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਰਜ਼ਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੀਣ ਦਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਸਮਝ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇੰਟੈਂਗਲਮੈਂਟ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਫਸਦਾ, ਇਨਵੋਲਵ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇੰਟੈਂਗਲਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਫਸ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਰਹਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੁਣ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਜੇਕਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ 'ਚ ਲਿਆਵਾਂਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਬਣ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ, ਇਸ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇੱਕ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸਰਵਣ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਫਿਰ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੀ ਸਮਾਪਤੀ। ਇਹ ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ AMC ਇੰਸ਼ੋਰੈਂਸ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਪਾਂਸਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। 6045076666 ਤੇ ਫੋਨ ਕਰੋ।